back to memories.
Yeah.
It could just be like
Oh.
I don't know. This thing is sort of like that other thing that I already know,
Yeah, it's
or
like
something
symbol
like that.
association.
Like, yeah.
So what? Well, I guess what I was gonna say is that
Yeah.
you have to have like a lot of like you can't be very analytic in order to like if I'm being very analytical and I'm like thinking about something with like a strong defined framework, like if I was looking at the wall like that, I would never see like that wiggly shit, you know. But if I'm kind of like my mind's a little bit clearer and it's kind of just like letting it wander, then I do, I guess.
Yeah, but if you how you said that happens to you if you're like a little bit sleep deprived. How long do you have to stay awake for that to happen?
Sorry, could you?
Oh no, fuck Nick, you're such a fucking copycat.
Oh my god.
You're such a copycat.
Hey, you're not a copycat. Just
Yeah, you're a copycat.
Did you know that you can get a little lighter like this that has a butane refillable thing in it, like there?
No,
These exist. Yeah.
you're joking. You got a lighter for a while though, here.
Just seems like a lot of wasted butane with the torch.
It just seems like I don't care.
He bought it so that he could show it to Eric.
So potentially trigger him.
No, I'm at my old house. I came back to my hometown and my house is here, and there was a butane thing in there.
Is this a temporary thing?
That's just the synchronicity, guys. We don't have to worry about it anymore.
Oh, that's
Cool.
Damn, I look pretty today.
Keep telling yourself that.
Eric Thor was describing, I was watching a video on him talking about NI, and he said it's like a sleepy function. And basically, if you're like concentrating at all on discovery of some sort, or connecting things, or thinking too much at all, then NI will not be able to work because it's like essentially a subconscious function. Are any of the other functions, do any of them work that way other than NI? In your opinion, if you even agree with that?
Muted. I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well, here's where I start to take issue with that, though.
Have you seen the brain scan of NI people, like using NI from the Dario Nardi guy? It's like all
light bulb effect
whatever.
or something. I mean, not light bulb. Like Christmas light effect, where it just like goes and.
No, that's NE.
Okay.
But NI is just like this Zen thing. It's like what everyone tries to get during meditation. They just always have it.
I hadn't considered that this mystical, because me, like, learning about this, like, Hermeticism and symbolic relationships is something that was completely foreign to me until, like, just now in my life, like, and making sense that, like, maybe that was me developing, like, NI in a way, like, to have those, instead of it being, like, clear-cut definitions, you have this, like, sort of symbolic relationship. Right, and the thing that bridged the gap for me was like formal logic, because it's like so abstract that I was able to see how the symbolism relates to like the formalism, I guess, and it kind of opened it up for me. Yeah.
Don't you have NE?
Demonstrative NI though. So it's equally...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like shadow, like it's like the, I don't know, like, so you have your stack, right? And then some people think that it continues on with the rest of them, like, and so your full stack is like all 8 functions, right? Like including your shadow functions. But you could like develop NI.
Essentially, the one that you don't use at all in theory is like SE. It's like the weakest for INTP.
I think it's FI, isn't it? Or
no, that's ENTP.
It's one or the other. I don't know.
So whatever your third function is, that's going to be your polar function. The opposite of that is going to be your polar function. So if you have SI in third slot, you're going to have SE as you just flip it.
And that makes sense. I do have like being present in the moment is something that's like really hard for me without drugs, and even with drugs, it's like really, really hard for me because my brain is like constantly trying to like prevent myself from like letting go, you know. So that makes sense to me, at least.
Yeah, and then demonstrative is whatever your second function is, like the introverted or extroverted version of that is going to be equally as strong. You just don't value it necessarily.
So that would be the
kind of,
NI in my case.
Yeah, like when you're using NI and you come to an NI conclusion, you might be like, oh, that's silly. Like I can't possibly like acknowledge that conclusion, you know?
Right, and that's exactly how I felt. I just dismissed all symbolic, you know, and non-secular like language out of hand, just because, like, with no justification other than like, this doesn't make sense to me, you know. That can't be
That
true.
sucks because a lot of people will miss out on like the NI magic if you dismiss that, you know?
That's the realm where everyone talks about where, you know, the magic lives. For lack of a better word.
I fucking love my NI. Like I indulge the shit out of it.
I've learned to love it actually.
Yeah.
Now that I've identified it, I guess.
But I don't really know. It seems weird to call it like the only subconscious function. I don't really know.
Well, I said
Probably not. Yeah, you're right.
I guess. But I think SI, basically what I was driving at was that SI, I think, is probably similar in some way. Because
right.
You may not even understand why you're associating something.
Right.
Right.
It might be tied in with like the symbolic, like some symbolic emotional like connection to something might also evoke that feeling rather than like the exact event kind of repeating.
I guess it's the idea that if you're using an introverted perceiving function, you're basically perceiving things that are not in external reality, and that means that it has to come out of your subconscious in some way, I guess,
or within your own construct of mind,
right?
Which is full of symbols and objects and all these things.
But you know, TI, I feel like on its own is actually also very symbolic. It's
like representative. It's like the difference between like in math when you're like above all the like abstraction of logic and stuff, and you're just like this is, you know, X, right? And it's just like a label, and you don't really see it as like there's not like this deep like rooted like symbolic like it's not like a holistic symbol. It's like a symbol that is related to, it's just a simple mapping of like one concept to a single symbol, and it's very limited in its scope. Whereas like I'm thinking more like it's like how, you know, if you read about like a symbol and it's like spiritual significance, and then forevermore you associate a certain feeling and like collection of nouns and like objects and other things with that symbol, that's like a much more richer, involved thing than what TI would be like consider like a labeling of some like practical thing, I guess. I don't know. It seems more
I don't know,
limited in its.
I mean, that makes sense.
It's like a one-to-one mapping versus like something where you map many things into like, you know, many different sources onto one like object.
It's kind of like condensing things into like a zip or a RAR archive, I guess.
Right. It was like earlier when I was talking about
you unpack a data point and all of a sudden it contains more things.
Right. Because like that scarab had like this, you know, idea of like coming into being and all this other stuff, but you know, in the Egyptian way of thinking, supposedly, you know, I'm not an Egyptologist. It goes to this idea of like, you know, they would see the dung beetle, you know, the scarab was a dung beetle. It would like push, you know, that it's shitball, like, you know, every day or whatever, and that was like representative to them of like the rising sun, which was like this whole idea of like coming into existence, like coming into your state of realized self, right, which is tied in with your own personal development. And so it was like all those things wrapped up into one symbol, which is much more than like, here's placeholder X that represents like a collection of like in a set or something, you know. It's
well, yeah, you're probably right about that, but I think you might also be oversimplifying the way that the TI works.
Of course.
Definitely. But yeah, that makes more sense.
Whereas, like, you could have an entire system. I guess the way I'm thinking about this now is that maybe you could have an entire system that you've developed in TI, and then you could map that to a single symbol, and it would represent that entire system. So
Right.
it's or that entire way of thinking, including, but it would also tie in with the emotional stuff. So it would tie in with your SI. Like, it's an entire package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, I don't know. That's why I kind of I like really well actualized ISTPs, because even though they're sensors, they can kind of have this thing going on where inwardly they have this TI-NI internal package that can actually do some pretty amazing shit.
Yeah, because then you're in the position where, like, that person can create, like, a society or something, like, it's at that level where they could, like, plan out something like that and it might be functional, it's
So
like,
and like conversely in INTP, like, even though we're intuitives, inwardly we're TISI, which is actually pretty clinical, I guess you could say. And outwardly we may be, like, kind of quirky, but, like, inwardly it's pretty sterile.
Yeah, it's like our internal world is more concrete than the external world, which is kind of opposite for, I think, most people, but I don't know.
Right.
I can't speak for them.
but yeah, the external world is this, like, realm of things
Illusion
that
to me.
are organic and fluctuating and never stable and constantly in a state of flux that you can't ever stick a pin in,
Right.
Whereas TI, like, you feel like that you can stick a pin in it,
Yeah.
Oh god, I gotta go to bed, guys.
But it's Friday.
Yeah, but I have to get up early on Saturdays.
Bummer.
I work on Saturday.
Oh.
Okay.
So detached from their ego that it's just the world they live in. Yeah, I can see that. Like, it's like, it's so present that you kind of just, like, assume it to be, like, the normal operating, like, operandus.
Yeah. It's pretty funny because everyone assumes that that's what's, like, universally true for everyone else when they're not in terms of, like, telling people what to do, but just in assumptions of the things that they say.
Yeah.
That is actually the main, like, disagreement point between two people often.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. Pulled me in.
What's up, guys?
Which type would you say that you disagree with most, then?
I don't really now because I can understand them.
But which one do you see the most probable?
Probably in my past would have been SI, because it's like, it's, to me, the fourth function's like the most personal one. So that's why, like, I don't know.
That's why your dual is supposed to be ISFJ, because you guys have the functions backwards.
Yeah,
So-
but I just see it as us just stepping on each other's toes all the time.
Mm.
So it's like you're seeing the same thing, but just attaching different significance to each of them. And so, like, I was talking to an ESFP last night, and she was like, "I love small talk because it's like there's nothing to get offended about." Essentially, is what she said. Because, like, for her, that's just the world. Like, why would you take the world personally?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, it took me a real long time to not take small talk super personally. Not like talking about the weather, but, like, little things people say about whatever. Like, take my experiences personally. I don't know.
Someone that like maybe someone has some insight as to why like ISTJs. Let me double check. Yeah, ISTJs are like really like want to get in my pants like really badly like all the time. Like I don't know what it is about my personality that's so appealing because I just want them to get away from me most of the time because it's like creepy. I don't know how to explain it. It's like
So they're
It's like-
SITE.
it's like so like it's like creepy to
They're
me.
any seeking. That's why. That's
It's so creepy though. They're like intense about it.
Yeah, they like
Semi-
see the
semi-
thinking, and then they're like trying to find any within themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of projection. It ends up being disastrous. Don't do it. That's
I know, and like I tell them, I could tell that was like how it was gonna be. So like I knew that I had to like not try and like let them down gently. I had to be like, it's not gonna happen, you know, like, and I had to be like a really like a bad guy, you know. But it was kind of like
Your
if you're
voice
gonna-
getting got deeper. It's
What?
not gonna happen. Like, your voice got
yeah.
deeper.
I was like before you get to this point where you're like so emotionally invested and you're like you know crying and like like you know over the top, right? Like before you get to that point, let me tell you now, don't get there. Just it's not gonna happen, you know.
I find that you end up hurting each other a lot. It's better to be good friends. You can be good friends with an ISTJ, definitely.
Yeah, it's like always like everything about their like mode of like of interacting with the world. Just like they take issue with the fact that I don't just like. On one hand, they seem to be like mad at me that like I don't blindly follow authority, but on the other hand, they're like, "Oh, I love that you don't do that," you know, like secretly. It's like.
I hate to like flatter TI users, but it's mostly just a relationship thing. I think that TE and TI are like on such drastically different wavelengths for how, even though they're both thinking functions, that like TE kind of ends up being infatuated with TI, whereas TI looks at TE as like, wow, this is so simple and not interesting at all.
Like benign.
You know?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
but they're like,
the things that you're obsessed with are just like so inconsequential from our
That sounds similar to FEFI too. The relationship.
Mhm. Actually, yeah, that does make sense.
I think it's the complication that. So you have NE seeking, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I like your NE, and I want that. So they project onto you, and then they have 3rd slot FI, and you have 7th slot FI. So it's like really fucking weird. It's like their tactical function is your polar, and their seeking function is your first. So it's just a lot of like, holy shit.
Yeah. Just like constant disasters and like train wrecks as you like collide into each other clumsily.
But it's a lot of good highs, really, really good highs, and really, really bad lows.
Interesting.
Neptune, shut the fuck up.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You good?
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
I sent you a friend request on Facebook, man. I accidentally declined you because I didn't see your message first.
Yeah, accidentally. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, the truth is I said, Neptune, go fuck yourself. Hell no.
And
Wait,
change the
Ace,
mind.
do you have a girlfriend?
I have a fiance, yes.
Okay, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I accepted your friend request. Ace.
Did you accept it or did you accept it?
Accepted it. Yeah.
It's fucking good.
We'll be friends forever.
I already ordered us a necklace, like the broken in half heart.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just foreshadowing.
I saw that you left the TWFP Facebook group, which was very strange. So I had to send you a friend request because I was like, Like it showed like all your comments, it showed like a gray like circle with a slash through it. And I was like, oh, Nick scared Ace off, and then was gonna attempt to get you back into the room, but I didn't need to.
No, not quite. It's complicated.
Zach, why do you look so disturbed?
Me?
Yeah.
I was looking at Socionics inner type stuff, and I was looking for the inner type between INTPs and ISTJs, and then on the Wikipedia chart, it came up with a symbol that didn't have. It was like a key. Well, there were symbols, keys,
Oh, yeah.
and it didn't have a description. It was just like.
It's
So I was
just
like,
like, this has never been tested thoroughly. Every time it was tested, like everyone died. You know, it's like we did.
yeah, I don't know. That's why
We've
I was
never been able
really
to
sad.
collect data in the field. You know, like
Because I was like really excited to see what it was, but Wikipedia won't let me know.
no one's ever survived the attempt.
Let's try again here.
What am I? Yeah, I'm an ENTP. Why do I like these? What the fuck, bro? Come on. I always look fly as hell. Why you gotta like insult me like that?
I mean, that's a nice shirt that you have on.
Yeah, I love black.
But, like, I don't know. I think it would be a nice
Oh!
shirt.
There we go. It's a benefactor relationship. That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
No, I don't look these all the time. I usually look like I just got home from work. I was supposed to meet a investor tonight.
Quote unquote investor.
My pool hall.
Yeah.
It's an old friend of mine who is way more successful than me. Went to high school together. Neither of us went to college, and yet he's making 6 figures somehow.
Well, it's not all, you know. A lot of it is luck too. You know.
I don't think it's luck.
I think it plays a role, right? Certain things come your way that might not come to another person's way just by the circumstances. Obviously, you can shift things in your
I'm
favor.
totally
or not.
I'm totally just looking around.
Oh.
He's the best salesman of, I swear to God, all time. He would talk the devil into setting himself on fire.
That doesn't sound that hard. I think I've seen him do that in some movies.
Like, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, that'll get you pretty far if you're willing to, you know, kind of maneuver people towards a certain goal, like shamelessly. Like that can make you a lot of money.
Oh, he's shameless. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But he basically sells security cameras for this fairly new company, and he's over the entire southeast region, and he's 24 years old. And he's doing it for like 3 years. It's ridiculous.
Hopefully, it's something that is sustainable. Doesn't, you know.
Have you ever heard of the poem called Richard Cory?
No.
Okay, well, Simon & Garfunkel did a song that was on the basis of that. And if you look into it, it's very relevant to this conversation. So you should probably look into that.
Or you could
I
just
like how
tell
you're
me,
drinking Diet Coke.
you could just tell me the fucking gist.
I like how you're drinking like Diet Coke. Like my mom does that too. So you might have the same personality type as my mom.
You know, I think everybody who drinks Diet Coke probably has the same personality, now that you mention it.
Nah. Like everything that you have represented just seems like her personality in one way or another. So, like, can I call you mommy and get away with it?
What?
No. No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm a dad, goddammit, not a mom. Fuck off, Liz. You're just upset and projecting your biological clock screeching at you, at me.
Now I'm just imagining what it would look like if Ace was
Whoa.
pregnant.
Whoa, Liz, we're not Catholic here. Anybody? No? All right.
I got it.
All right. Thank you.
I think everyone did.
I didn't.
That's it.
Well, if you'd stop fucking typing at me.
Yeah, get on mic. Elizabeth.
Just imagining what Ace would look like if he was pregnant. It's kind of an interesting thing.
I hope everybody is as uncomfortable with that as I am.
Can you hear me? No. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
I'm just like trying to figure out why Chloe would like compare you to her mom because she's
Audrey, you're like super far away. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Chloe just says really fucking weird, disturbing shit to get a reaction.
I really do think that's where her NE goes, just naturally, but I don't think she's doing it to get a reaction necessarily.
Yeah.
It might be for me, because I've heard from quite a few, well, not quite a few, but several people that they like to poke me just because I react funny.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I like teasing you because you're interesting to tease.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Kato.
So,
Do you
Bro,
miss me?
You twasted, bro?
tired as shit.
Oh man, caught a white girl wasted.
Ace, I love you. I'm sorry for being a dick the other night.
Hey man, it's cool. You're good. We've all been there.
I don't even know what happened. What happened?
Nothing significant at all.
Okay.
It was a total blowout, bash, meltdown thing.
Wish I was there.
Thanks, Neptune, for completely
Nick
contradicting
fucking
what I said.
destroyed Ace.
Got blown the fuck out.
I should sleep. I have to work in 8 hours or something.
Oh gosh, 8 hours.
Same, don't be a pussy. 3 hours is enough.
Yeah. Oh shit, 8 hours.
That 10-year
Yeah, but I also live a half an hour away from where I'm
Oh shit, a half an hour away.
What happened, Nick?
Life's so goddamn hard.
Kato.
I do remember.
I'm gonna wreck you.
Who's echoing?
I don't know. It's annoying.
Whoever doesn't have a.
That's where he was too somehow.
What?
Drink me a damn beer.
I'm gonna go. I'm
Damn,
tired.
my
Bye.
damn beer.
You just got it.
Ace, you inspired me to get a beer. You're a very inspirational figure.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm here to do, is, inspire alcoholism.
I'm drinking as
That
well.
was my damn
I'll drink to that.
Are you there permanently now, Nick? No? Okay, you're just visiting.
I've been frightened thoroughly since being here. The guy I used to let live here is pretty deep into the drug world. INTJ, coke boy. And he was explaining to me what's happening with all these drug cartels coming here and what's been happening in the news lately. Everybody's coming here to, people are moving from Detroit and Chicago to come here to sell drugs. And my dad's about to be the judge who's about to be putting the hammer down on people like that. Kind of fucking frightening.
Yeah, you gotta start wearing a bulletproof vest everywhere and shit like that.
Better.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff like that, but you definitely got to amp up the security because those guys don't fuck around. Some of them.
I don't know that he'll take it seriously enough.
My ex roommate is in prison for the next 3 years. Well, probably 2.5 now for dealing. It's not really. I don't know. It's kind of a long time, but it could have been way worse. I don't really get the.
Well, my dad.
People don't see it coming, I guess.
His campaign is running around stopping the drugs. It's
And it's like they still haven't recouped on their investment yet, so they're going to be like, if it hasn't been a lot of time yet, right? So they're not going to. They might fight for it, depending. Yeah, it's something to worry about, but.
I mean, at least he's not a prosecutor here.
Yeah.
The prosecutor should really have it. I hope. I think.
He just needs to be mindful of it. You can't live your life in fear about it and constantly worry about it. Just take proper precautions when you can, and I guess.
My dad is a lot like me, or I'm a lot like my dad, where he doesn't really fear for his own safety. More about the safety of others.
Okay.
So it's like
you could probably convince him to get a vest at least. Maybe if he starts getting threats or something, probably get him someone that could watch at night and stuff. But escalate as needed. Because it might end up not being bad at all. It could just be.
I mean,
nothing happens.
I trust my dad to be able to figure shit out.
Yeah.
He's an ESTP.
Okay.
He's an ESTP. He's the most equipped to handle such a thing. I promise that. ESTPs have a certain, ENTPs can think pretty quickly, but an ESTP, as far as thinking quickly in regards to the various situation they're in, right here and now, wow, it's nutty. What's your name?
I'm Zach. Hello.
Hello, Zach.
I'm also Zach.
Also, whoa! What are your types?
I'm INTP.
ENTP.
I hate ENTPs.
Dude, me too. No one hates them more than I do. Believe me.
How long have you been into typology, ENTP, Zach?
I put on a blue shirt earlier because I was wearing no shirt, and someone said blue shirt Zach, so I had to put on a blue shirt.
You contrarian motherfucker.
It became hard to distinguish. Year and a half? No, just a year.
Like in depth or just a general familiarity?
Like in depth.
Okay.
My brother's in ENTJ, and we just talk about it pretty much nonstop.
Is he wicked successful and rich? Big
No,
boss?
he's like his biggest fear is to become a successful ENTJ. Right now, he's camping on a beach in Mexico.
That's very strange. ENTJ.
Yeah, he's a 1, Enneagram 1. So most of them are 8s.
What are you, Enneagram 7?
7, yeah.
Is that your only sibling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And other Zach, are you Enneagram 9?
I don't know. I've never really done the Enneagram thing. Should I do that?
It gives a more well-rounded perspective.
Like a great compliment to Myers-Briggs.
Definitely.
Then you have a link to a good online evaluation thing.
It's good to evaluate. You'll see a lot of people in your life that you don't relate to, but some that you really relate to.
We can't hear you because of
your mic is being funny. But I think finding your core type is the most important, and then moving on to tri-type is fine and dandy. But I think ultimately the most important thing is finding your core type.
Mm-hmm.
Others might disagree, but I don't know. Is the core type tests are more in depth?
But I was going to say, INTP, Zach, is Enneagram is important because you'll notice a lot of people that are the same type as you, but there's a big variance, and you might meet some that are you relate to a lot, and chances are those people are the same Enneagram as you.
Yeah, and then wings are cool too.
Are you saying ENN?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enneagram, I guess, but we say some people say Enneagram.
It's also really cool to see similarities between Enneagram types across Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, to see if it maps 1 to 1 or not. Or
Well, yeah, it maps. Like I have a friend who's an INFJ Enneagram 7, which is like really rare.
Well, of course it can't be 1 to 1 because it looks like there's only 9 types, right?
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh no! I'm saying like there's different correlations. So
Well,
like,
you have tri-types and you have like wings and.
So what should I use this Russo-Hudson type indicator online test?
Hudson, I believe that he's one of the founders of it, but who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
9types.com.
Somebody with that kind of background noise is an Enneagram type dickhead.
Wait, what is background noise? It might be my fan.
Turn your fucking fan off then.
Oh.
It's hot in here. Fuck you, it's hot in
Then
here.
take your fucking blanket off! What's wrong with you?
This hot girl bumblebee tonight saying, "Hey, so I had to swipe right because I saw you're an ENTP and supposedly that's my best match. I'm an INFJ."
Ooh, game time.
Probably thinking, she's probably wrong.
Oh, snap.
Game time, baby. Let's go.
I like it.
I'm happy for you. I really am.
Okay, I'll turn the fan off.
All right.
This girl is
You want to seal this deal guaranteed? Just straight up call her a bitch. We'll do it right now. Promise it works.
So ENTP, Zach, can you guess my Enneagram since I guessed yours right on the first?
Yeah. What's your type?
ENTP.
Okay. Damn.
Stop staring all weird like that, Nick. You fucking weirdo.
You're like super.
Deep sexual eye contact.
Can you give me another 2 minutes of conversation? We'll come back to it.
Yeah, you can ask questions. That would probably be the best way to go about such.
Well, I like doing it just by observing people, but
1, 2, 3.
Well, my questions would just be like, "Are you a 7? Are you a 3?" So it's like,
oh, you gotta think of specific questions that would inform you.
I know I'm not there with Enneagram yet because I just started on it like a month or 2 ago. But I could do it for Myers-Briggs stuff, but I just do it.
I can't do that either. I just I can. I've seen enough variations in ENTPs where I can kind of like, you're this.
I've like only seen 7s, 3s, and 8s, and you don't look like any of those. You could be like a 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have a halo. It's glowing.
What are you?
I'm a 3.
Oh.
You were right. Oh wait, no, you weren't.
No, statistically, I was suggesting. I haven't spent that much time around ENTP 3s either.
We're different.
You are 3s in general. Like my best friend's an ESTP 3, and he's like, it's so much less goofy than the 7.
My FE will choke you.
Huh?
My FE will choke you.
And also, your humor's like super dry and like good point. It's cool. It's really cool.
Is my humor like that?
I don't know.
Neptune.
I think ENTPs are sarcastic as fuck just by nature.
Right, but there's like a certain there's a certain warmth to the 7th. No, I don't know. Fuck me.
Okay, I will.
Jesus fucking
See, there you go
Christ,
again,
Chloe.
saying weird shit.
Shut up, Chloe. Shut the fuck up.
No, don't shut up, Chloe.
What's your dry type?
Who the fuck just kicked
I don't know.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
I want to say
Kano!
741.
Yours is? I'm a 358.
Whoa. Explain tri-type or why it's significant.
So in each, oh wait, did you want Nick too? Sorry.
No, I'm passing to Neptune.
So like there's a head, heart, and gut triad.
I know that, but what's the significance?
Oh, you're just so there's no point in like after you found the wings, I guess, you're kind of like in different realms. You're like trying to find out which is your go-to, and also like, okay, so for instance, I'm 5'4'8", so it's like withdraw, then fight.
So it's almost like
so like they have each Enneagram type has like a method of dealing with things.
Oh, the background noise! Stop it.
right.
So yeah, so like an 8, for instance, is fight, and then if they have like 7, I can't remember what that one is.
7 is aggressive. 7 is aggressive, withdrawn, and then 3 is aggressive, compliant. I think. I get to be aggressive a lot first.
Do you rank them in terms of like your preference to them? Is it sort of like a response?
Yeah, it goes in order based on which you prefer most. So like your core type usually is. That's why I think it's important to find your core type, because the tri-type tests aren't as in depth. You know, I think your core is what matters most. But yeah, and then you just rank them in preference after that. And then on top of that, instinctual variants, which adds another layer onto it.
Right.
Are you familiar with the instinctual variants?
Yeah, but I haven't read into those that much either.
Mm-hmm.
I remind like social or not so whatever.
I almost showed my dick on here for the second time.
Whoa. What do you mean almost? Whip it out, bro. Let's go.
Ace, you an ESTP?
No.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Just went over this.
He's been asked that before.
No, like literally me, Eric, Audra, Taylor, and Suze just went over all of this.
What, in the other room? Room 1?
Yeah. It's part of like the typing thing for being the patron.
Mm.
Basically, according to Eric's like framework theory, I'm what's called a normalizing ENTP, and that my circumstances throughout life have forced me to develop my SE and TE, or is it SI, whichever one.
My mom's that, but the INFP to ISFP.
Right, a lot more than the normal ENTP would normally have to do. So I come off as almost, my sensing is high, which is why people are like, are you sure you're not an ENTP? Yeah.
I was just doing off mannerisms and stuff, not like whatever else.
You sure you ain't one of them ESTPs now?
We don't like them kind around here.
I love ESTPs.
Test. It's like the being accused of ESTP.
It looks like, according to this test, I guess the most likely one they have for me is 5, followed by 2, then by 4.
Like 60% of INTPs are 5s, or something like that.
Wait, what? What does this mean? So type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, but they repeat? So my type 4... Wait, hold on.
With different wings. So it's like 4...
Oh, I'm being silly. So the one with the highest score. Yeah, so type 5. And then followed by type 9, actually. Closely followed by type 9. And then after that is type 4 and type 1. So, I don't know. Yeah, but type 5 is the highest score.
What would you guess my tri-type would be there, new guy?
I'm going to try and call my ex.
You with the blue shirt and the disheveled hair. What's your name?
I'm Zach. I don't know. I'm bad at guessing tri-type. I'm not good at identifying Enneagrams yet. 3 centers.
Freaking 8.
I think you just want me in the 8 club because I'm so cool.
I told you were an 8 the moment I met you in here. I was like, you're an 8, not a 7.
I'd say
and
3.
And then I did a little thing over there, and I'm like, all right, let's see how long until we revisit this.
3, 7, 2.
Yeah, I can see.
Like, no, I'm a 7. And I'm like, no, I'm an 8.
Zach. I got 8.3.
What is Nick not saying?
I think you're an 8.37 or a 3.87.
Nice. Nick's got it on the head. Well done.
Nice.
Not bad though. 2 for 3 there, Zach.
Not in order though.
You seem a little less like showy, so I would guess I said you're an 8.73.
No, his 3's high.
It's up there, but I don't know if it's more than his 7.
I think his 3 is definitely more than his 7.
You think so?
Yep.
Interesting.
Is it, Zach? Is your 3 higher than your 7?
I personally wouldn't say so, but that's just me. Mostly just because in my life experience, I usually get told to take this shit seriously, please, way more often than you're being too intense.
3s or neither of that?
Is it what?
3s are
the achiever, right?
Yeah.
The achiever.
I'm a hard 3. My
Ooh,
3 is
a hard 3, huh? How hard?
hard. It's veiny hard.
Nice and solid.
So what are you when you're soft?
An 8.
You got a shrinker.
Gotta reconcile that.
The cold shower.
All right.
What's the
Oh,
Dragon
no
Ball
way.
5 again?
I really want some pussy tonight.
All right.
Sorry for my graphicness.
All right.
Well, you're not going to get it here through the internet, so.
You're right.
You think?
Let's think about this.
Back.
Hometown. Nobody even knows I'm here though right now. And it is almost 1 o'clock here. Let's see who's up.
Oh shit, I forgot. There's a very important question actually I need to ask you guys, and you guys. This kind of like determines your fate here in the group, like how you're gonna progress.
Okay.
You think Tarzan was a virgin when he met Jane, or was he making them gorilla booty cheeks clap?
That is a great question. Damn.
I think it depends on whether you're in the canon where he was like slightly ostracized or he was viewed as like exotic by the other apes, right?
Disney.
Okay.
Disney canon.
Well, since it's Disney, probably not.
Just the canon. Just the canon. We're not making this into a movie.
Okay. Just the canon. All right. Fair enough. That's what I said anyway. I think he would be viewed as an interesting item. It probably happened. I don't know if do gorillas make life partnerships with their sex?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Then actually,
wait, no, they don't.
If they do, then no. Or yeah, but wait, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, you had it right.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm crashing from earlier when I drank that huge energy drink the first time I came on, and I haven't slept in a while.
Only one? Dude, fucking weak.
No. It was, he would also use energy chews. It adds up.
Dude, I inject liquid cocaine into my fucking eyeballs every morning.
Oh. Well, I used to be on Vyvanse and shit like that, but not anymore. That shit isn't something that I'm good at managing.
Was it giving you anxiety or something?
Well, it was like I was always talking to the psychiatrist about like I was always hyper vigilant about like dependency formation because I was so concerned about that because it was an amphetamine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do things like on the weekends and stuff. I would force myself not to take it. And like the doctor would encourage me like not to, and it's like, yeah, well, I don't want to form like long-standing dependency on this. And
Doctor's like, no.
I need my kickbacks, you know, like
I need you to be as addicted as possible so I can send you to the mental institution.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
even people who've been on it for years still take breaks from it because,
well, just from the tolerance point of view, also, but
yeah,
it was something that it would cause me like it fundamentally changed the nature of my personality in a way that like I didn't like. So I was able to like accomplish things very easily, but I would, in that state of mind, like I would treat people as objects rather than people, right?
so it turned you into like a really effective sociopath.
Yeah. So and because I was like so analytical, like when I was on it, I would just like go through the day and like people were just like obstacles or objects that I had to maneuver around in order to like do what I needed to do for the day. And then at the end of the day, when it's like wearing off, I would be like, oh my God, like
what's wrong with that?
What the fuck did I say to that person? Like, holy shit, like all this stuff that like, and it started harming, like it changed the nature of all my friendships. And it became something that was like a little bit like, or I was always like needing people for things instead of like, there was no like
give and take. It was always take.
Yeah. And it was like not conscious. It was like automatic, and I didn't like that at all. And it was something that if I really, really focused on in the moment, I could like mitigate it, right? But then that, you know, it was just a lot. And then plus, you know, the health problems and, you know, I would start to feel like super, super shitty when I would like force myself to go to withdrawals, like way more, like I just felt awful. And I developed like stomach problems and like,
yeah, dude, I actually.
And it was like I also had like it was like I had this drug-induced bipolar. Like when I would stop taking it, like it would set me into these cycles that like I didn't have before. And I could totally see how people fall into the trap. You know, they go to a different psychiatrist. They're like, "This is what's been happening to me." It's like, "Oh, now you're bipolar," and then they put them like on different drugs.
Now you need lithium.
Yeah, and then they like get all fucked up and they go to like a different psychologist or a psychiatrist, and then the cycle repeats until they've like super fucked up. You know. And there's like not a point of like recovering your original personality. So I started to see like kind of the way that would go just in the nature of how psychiatry works these days. And that was why I was like, I can't go down this amphetamine route. There's no way. So
yeah, I was addicted to Adderall back in the day, 2 years ago or so. It's taking like 145-ish milligrams per day.
Yeah, for the Vyvanse I was on, so that's dextroamphetamine mainly. It was like I would try and take just 60, but after a while I was taking 2 a day, you know, so it was up to 120. And the doctor would like encourage it. When I would like mention that, he was like, "Oh, well, maybe I should give you also some instant release so the withdrawals don't kick in at the end of the day." And I was like, "That's just gonna make it worse."
That's fucking terrifying.
I know. It's like he had no sense of like.
What's that? Heroin. Here, let's get you some methadone, so at the end of the day you can, you know, cruise down.
Well, the really shitty thing.
So much better than having a doctor who like won't give you anything.
Well, he was the only psychiatrist for the entire university.
Was his office in like a mud hut and you had to do like a fucking ritual dance before you entered? Like,
no, he was just the only psychiatrist on call that dealt with every single one of the students of the university. So it was just like a matter of like just procedure for him because like so many people would come in with like, you know, wanting, like, I think it was at a point where like he figured everyone was just trying to pull the wool over his eyes to get Adderall to like get an advantage in school, and he was like knew it kind of, where I was actually being genuine. And it was like funny, I explained to him things and stuff, and it was almost like he thought I was being cheeky and trying to cover my ass because I just needed Adderall, you know. For like, and I was always like, no, like I am concerned about this and forming dependency and stuff. He's like, oh, you worry too much. Well, you know, like,
I killed my neighbor's dog for his skin.
What?
My bad. That was out loud. I'm sorry. Anyway, you were saying something.
I can't remember what it was now.
Well, hey, what, man? Cumulonimbulous clouds, man. They're crazy. They're wild. Back me up, Ricardo.
I love cumulonimbus clouds. They are so fascinating to study because most of the storms result from that. And actually, it's pretty interesting to study how they relate to tornadoes too, because you will see them and they are just like really intriguing.
Yeah, they are.
I was very passionate about those damn clouds. God, don't judge me
I
here.
jack off to them all the time.
Yeah.
Can we talk about ski dogs? Because that's honestly more exciting. I would much rather, talk about, But
honestly, like, whenever you look at in the clouds and, like, you used to, like, see animals and shit, like, now it's just, like, as an adult, I see people, like, doing it.
Animals in the clouds, and you're like, if I could skin cloud animals, that would be a really soft coat.
It's weird talking about skinning things. It's weird.
Yeah.
Normal people don't talk about that, and I'm a normal person, so I don't talk about that.
I don't believe you.
It's fine.
We have the wrong people.
Hey, for the other Zach. Yes.
It was trained like that.
Do you ever find yourself like trying to hide your like true personality from people? Like, do you ever feel a need to do that?
I feel more of a need to try and get it out.
Okay.
Probably.
Sometimes you got to lay it on the table. Let them know what you're working with.
I know in E, your type, so the ENTP, right?
R type. Yeah.
Yeah. That he is very much like I can tell that's his type unless he's completely projecting it, and he is he goes out of his way to make sure that he's as likable as possible to everyone because but another thing is he's also a twin, so I don't know how that affects everything, right?
Yeah. When you say it like that, it makes him sound
like he's I guess I should finish the description. So he's like has this like really likable persona, and he like manages like social systems really well, and he also kind of feigns ignorance, like he pretends he's like stupider than he is in order to like be more well liked, and he's like very, very aware of this, but he's like afraid of exposing his like true personality. Like I don't know if it's just because he's like gotten to this point, and he can't like backtrack now, or like I don't know. Like, do you have any sense of like why you might be?
I do that to an extent. Like, if I'm around certain friends, say that I do like an activity with, like say friends like I go skiing with, and then like a good friend that I'll talk about ideas with all the time will come, and like there'll be an interaction, and then I'm sort of like pausing around certain topics that I would normally get really invested in with like one of the groups.
Right, like for example, with like politics, he has really, really strong political views, but he pretends like he doesn't most of the time, like in the school setting or like when he's around, like especially if it's like 4 or more people, it's like it's on lockdown,
Yeah.
It's as agreeable as possible. Like
yeah, that's true. But that's the thing is I don't really consider that part of my personality, like to either show or not show. Those are just like things. But then when I think about it in retrospect, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely hiding parts of myself around just about everyone, which I don't like, but it's like what I do.
Okay. So it's not just, it's something that you feel that maybe he's taking it to a little bit of a higher extreme than you are. Yeah. Because he's also feeling this like pressure because he's like, he's in school ready to graduate and stuff, and he's trying to like plan out his life and everything, and he's thinking about like, making sure he manages like social capital and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure that's like part of his calculus. Like when it comes to like when you're planning like your life and like you're trying to come up with like things? Like, are you like Machiavellian about it, like realpolitik kind of, you know, or are you more like
politique?
Like, what's your like plan forming like strategy? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't trust plans at all, and I try and avoid them. Pretty much.
So you're
all
trying to like kind of feel it out, like as you go.
To like to not